Welcome everyone. Today we'll be looking at how much does it cost to actually roll for the legendary characters, and to start things off we can look at the banners that's available. As you might have seen our previous video, we looked into different banners, and other than the beginner's wish, all of the other banners will be costing 10 wishes each, and with each wish costing 160 gems. What we'll do is, let's look into the pricing model for GENSHIN IMPACT with in-app purchase with iOS, and we'll use that as a benchmark for most of the other devices. And from there, we'll calculate how much does it cost and how much purchase do we need to make for different characters. So over here, we're on Reddit. This can also be found on iOS and Android devices using the in-game purchase and scrolling down with in-game purchase listing. So this post is about the in-game purchase for iOS GENSHIN IMPACT, and the original poster said after checking the pre-ordered pricing for the particular gems on the iOS, he can see the in-game purchase, and those are in terms of USD. We'll be looking at 60 to basically 6,480 gems. And with those gems, let's look at the highest one, 6,480 gems for 100 USD. What does that translate into? So if we do a quick calculation, this translates into 4.05 10 times pools, or pretty much 40 pools. This is actually the fixed price for GENSHIN IMPACT. Of course, there are other formats that you can actually have it a little cheaper, because the first time you purchase the gems, you actually get double the amount. For the sake of this calculation, we will not consider the doubled amount, but keep in mind the double amount will save you about 200 USD if you purchase 200 USD worth. It will not save you further because that is the maximum amount you can purchase using the double gems. So coming back to a time limited banner with Venti, we'll be looking at 40 rolls for 100 USD, and this translates into 225 USD for 90 rolls. And if you're lucky enough, this guarantees a 50% chance of PT into Venti. If you don't know what PT means, check out our previous video on the rates of 5-star units. Basically, what it means is, if you don't get Venti, which is the promoted unit on this banner, by drawing 9 times the 10 wishes, so 90 rolls, you'll be having a chance of getting Venti on your 9th row. And within that row, there's 50 chance Venti will appear. There's also a 50% chance the other units will appear. This includes 10 weapons and 2 other heroes, being Jin and Diluc. Now this might sound okay, but in reality, if my luck is not with me, I won't get the Venti chance. I have to actually draw 180 times to get Venti as a guaranteed PT roll. So the game also concludes that if you don't make it on your first 90 rolls, and if you go for 90 again, you will guarantee to give you a Venti, because you have not found a Venti during that time. But if you have found a Venti during that time, you will not be giving you a free Venti on the 180th row. So to summarize, if you are having the worst RNG possible, what you'll be looking at is 180 rolls for a Venti, and a Venti will cost you about 450 USD before the discount of the double packaging. With the discount of double packaging, you're likely to look at 250 USD. And this is just one 5-star limited banner. This might sound a little daunting, and what if you wanted 3 different units? What if you wanted at least 2 different units? Well, we can simply add up the price, because you can only get 200 USD worth of discounts. You are looking at 250 for the first unit, then you look at 450 for the next one, and another 450 for the next one. Very quickly, you're looking at over $1,000 for GENSHIN IMPACT. And I don't want to scare you guys, but this is quite a lot of money for most of us. But worry not, there is a saving grace for this one, and this is something I want to touch up on. I shared the rates with you guys, and the second part of it is going to be about how to save this much money by doing a few simple steps at the start of the game. This is when the free-to-play strategies comes in, and this actually works wonderfully in most of the games I've played with gadget games. In order to know what are we achieving by using the Reroll system or the resource management system with free-to-play, we have to know the cost of each of the 5-star units. Now that we can determine each of the 5-star units without a discount is 450 USD, we can now look into the estimated time we wish to invest into re-rolling into a unit or saving resource for a unit. We know how much we're saving. So there's 2 ways of doing this. I will highlight both of the ways, and we'll go in both of the ways in details in another guide. The first way is actually to save up for a promoted banner. For example, the promoted banner here we have is Venti. This is a standard banner we're looking at, the one that lasts with invocation. I would not recommend going into this banner first. Let's go into the Venti Banner. With the Venti Banner, you have a guarantee of after 90 rolls, you'll be guaranteed with at least a 5-star item. And this is really good to know for a free-to-play player. So what you should be looking into is after you have settled in for the game, you should start to look for saving. You should be saving for at least 90 rolls, sometimes even 180 rolls, to reduce any chance of getting a bad luck roll. This also means you have to control yourself, not by the stamina, not by a random pool here and there, not going for a random one pool, and actually save up for 90 and 180. Because those are time limited banners, and if you do not achieve the 90 or 180 rolls, you will not benefit from the guaranteed pity pool, which will give you a 5-star item or 5-star Venti. Second to that, if you're not really good at saving, or if you're like me, a little impatient, you just want to get a good unit to start this game off, what you want to do is you want to actually start rerolling in the game. This is when you can save mass amount of money and even sometimes go free to play, and people brag about, oh, free to play by the way, and it turns out, they spend a few hours before getting into the game, they actually rerolled a few times. So here we'll explain what is rerolling. The next video we'll look at how to reroll for GENSHIN IMPACT. What is rerolling is you basically start the game by using different logins, and after creating a few Gmails or 3 Hotmails, after you establish yourself with the logins, you'll be coming to the game and start the first tutorial. The tutorial for GENSHIN IMPACT will take about 10 to 20 minutes, and after finishing the tutorial, you'll be opening up the wish option. When you have the wish option, you can start rolling. To summarize this whole rerolling process, at the start of the game, you'll finish the tutorial and get to the city, and you'll reach adventure level 5. At this moment, you'll also unlock the wish system. The wish system allows you to gacha 4 different units, and you should go to your mail, collect the 10 acquainted fate, and start on a beginner's wish. This is recently updated for me as well, because the beginner's wish doesn't have any weapons. It has the 100% rate of getting a 5-star if you get the 0.6% chance. You should spend as many acquainted fate on the beginner's wish as you can. Upon receiving your next set of reward, which is at level 7 of adventure level, this will take about 35-40 minutes or 50 minutes into the game. And upon receiving the 1,600 gems, you will be able to participate on the limited banner with Venti. This banner is available upon global release, which is on the 28th of September. And I should recommend using the 1,600 gems on the Venti banner because those requires intertwined fates, and the acquainted fate cannot be used here. After spending the next 10 rolls on this one, the next step is to consider using the next 10 rolls you get at the adventure level 10, and you can use it on the beginner's wish. And if you have any spares, use it on the standard banner after. The standard banner should be the last one you go to because it has 10 weapons and 5 heroes. And if that's the case, you only get a third of the chance compared to the other banners, or maybe half the chance. If you don't get any 5-star characters, then you can consider stopping with this account and re-logging into the game with a different account you have prepared earlier, which we'll go through on the rerolling guide, which will talk about making accounts, what to do with the rerolls, and where to go, and how to fast pace yourself into each of the rerolls. So after logging into a new account, you'll repeat the same thing. What do I mean by you can save from 250 USD up to 1000 USD? This has to do with your perseverance, your determination, and how lucky you are. If you're lucky enough to get one character, you have to know that you have saved $250 worth of, just the guaranteed gathering system. But if you manage to roll into 2 characters with the startup currency, which is 20 rolls and also 1,600 currency, then you know you have saved close to $650 worth, or even $700 worth. And if you're super lucky, you manage to get 3 characters, then you know you probably saved over $1,000 worth of USD. That said, this is not exactly meant for everyone. I have to make a disclosure. I have played gacha games that I actually rerolled for 3 days, and in the end I stopped playing the game because the game wasn't what I was expecting, and rerolling the game turns out to be a chore, and I was so fatigued and so grinded out that I stopped playing the game because I spent too much time rerolling it. So what I recommend is play the game a little bit to see if you like it. If you do like it, and if you have the free time, and also if you're the type of person that doesn't mind grinding a little bit, then spend maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, in grinding to make a few emails, few logins, and then come back to reroll a few times. Because the game is so generous on the global release, there's 33 rolls for each of the new accounts. You can really take advantage of this. And in the long run, if you become a veteran player and if you look back into your account, you spend, let's say, 10-20 days into the account, and you realize you're short on 5-star heroes or maybe even 5-star weapons, then you would wish you started the game with those items. This is the difference, because you can't start the game and then come back to this. You have to do this at the start. But if grinding or if the tedious formation of rerolling is not for you, I do not recommend it, because that will kill the joy of the game for you. So do it at your own understanding and do it at your own adjustment. Knowing how much each of the characters saves for you is a great motivation to be like, hey, I spent 3 hours, but I saved, $200. I think that's a pretty good. I probably won't get that anyway in the game, right? So all you can think about, oh, I was super lucky. I made like $500 in this game because I spent 2 hours, I got 2 5-stars. So if you think of that, then it becomes more joyful. And this is the way I think about it when I reroll for gacha games. Sometimes I don't even play them. I just roll them and I gave it to a friend. I was like, do you want to try it? He's like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. So this is it for how to save up as a free-to-play player. After this video, guys, be prepared for the next video, because we'll go into the details of how to make emails, how to make logins, how to actually step-by-step follow with the rerolling as a tutorial, run to the city, and what to talk to and what to do to maximize your chance of rerolling each time you try it. And also saves you a lot of time rerolling. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.